Hello everybody and welcome back to my studio. My name is Sam Wilde. I am the artistic director behind cardboardadventures.co.uk, which is my cardboard craft pattern website. I hope you've already been over there and checked it out. It is full of wonders and treats. Now today I am here to show you how to make a new pattern we have just released on that website. We are calling it the Fantasy Ear Set, and I have to say it is perfect for the bad hair day that I am having today. It is an idea about different ears you can wear. It's my daughter's idea, but so you get this main structure and then you get 3 different sets of ears that you can swap out for different versions of this. It's the Fantasy Ear Set. Shall we crack on and start making it? Right, first thing you need to do is head to what I've seen, bad hair day. First thing you need to do is head over to cardboardadventures.co.uk. Okay, now that will have everything you need in order to make this pattern. Okay, so it will have links to tools, of the glue guns I use, cutting equipment, all of that jazz, but it will also have these. So you'll be able to download the pattern pieces you need and an instruction book to make this at home from your cardboard. Okay, so the first step, head over there, find the Fantasy Ear Set, download it. That will give you all the pieces, then you cut those out of cardboard. Now, that is not all it is. Now this, as you can see, is a fairly rounded pattern, okay? And because of that, the grain is super important. What do you mean by grain, Sam? Well, I mean this. So this is an example of one of our pattern pieces, okay? So it's got the name of the piece, creature ear. It has the dark, thick line that goes around, and that is what you cut out to get this shape out of cardboard. The amount of pieces you'll need of that shape, so this is ×2, that ears, you have one on each side of your head. We occasionally have these sort of lighter lines here. These are fold lines. I don't know if you can see that, fold lines, so that tells you if you need to fold it. They're kind of rare, but they do exist. And then this arrow is what I'm talking about. So this is a grain direction arrow. What is grain, Sam? Let me show you. I'll grab a bit of scrappy cardboard. Now, I like to think of cardboard. You see here, we've got all these wibbly bits in there. That is the grain. I like to think of it as like loads of straws stuck next to each other. And if you've got a load of straws and put a bit of tape on top, just like this, you will find that it creates a lovely curve if you bend it one way. But if I bend it the other, it will still bend, but it's much more of a sharper angle, okay? I can make it work, but you have to make it. It's not as easy as just going on and doing it. Working with the grain will make it easier. On that note, we do recommend the thinner stuff for this. So that is the most common cardboard you find. The thinner cardboard is what we recommend for this pattern. Let's crack on. Now, first step, get these, stick them all together, cut them out from cardboard. I've done all that already. And you'll end up with this, a pile of bits. Now, I will say as well, when you get a pattern piece like this, so this is a side piece, if it's got holes in it, I would recommend you cut out those holes first, okay, and then cut the outside shape. It's much easier to do it that way around, I find. Okay, first things first, I'm going to get one of my sides. I'm going to pre-curve it, so I'm going to do this. I'm just curving it around. If you find that difficult, you could find a pen. Here's a nice thick pen. You could roll it around that, a rolling pin, or even the side of a desk, something like that. For pre-curving it. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to squash those edges. So we're going to squash this long top edge all along here, and this bottom edge. I'm not worrying about these. I'm just doing these top bit and that top bit. Okay, and you'll end up with something a bit like that. So it's a bit of a bow. I'm not folded it both ways. I folded it one way. The next thing I need to do is I need to find... Now this is side A. Side A, okay? And you can tell because it's got... This end just goes straight to a point, but this one has got a slightly flatter edge to it. That is going to be at the back. So that slightly flatter edge goes to the back. And same as with this one, I'm going to line them up so that front edge is there, and I'm going to curve it in the same way as I did that side piece. You see what I've done here? So it's going to go like this, with this piece at the back. The back is this edge. not this edge, this edge. So it should line like this. Flatter edge, pointy edge. Okay. Again, I'm going to squash that edges down. I'm going to get some handy craft tape, and I'm just going to attach it together. So there we have it. So I have lined that up. I've got that flatter edge at the back, which is this pointed edge of the side. I've got the pointy end at the front, which has got these sort of slight scalloped edges. And I've curved them both so they fold together. And then I've just used, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits of tape to hold that edge together. Okay, we're not using any glue just yet. We're just holding those edges together. Make sense? So this is going to go here. So this is this piece. You can see how that works. Next, we are going to get a side piece B. Now, side piece B is symmetrical, okay? So there is no front and back. Either way will work. But we are going to lay it on and we are going to fold it. And exactly the same as that. Pre-fold it in one direction. Flatten those edges. And we're going to use our tape to attach that onto here. So on top of side A. Okay, this is side B going on top of side A. Right. We're going to start at the front. So pointy end to pointy end. Start at the front and work to the back. So I've attached part B to part B to part A to the side. Okay. And that, as you can see, is really starting to take shape now. This, again, is going to be this side here. So we've done these pieces to this piece. All right. Now, the one thing worth mentioning with side B is that it doesn't go all the way to the end. So we start at this end, we start at the front, and we join the edges together, but it curves in and joins that flat edge of A. Okay. Okay, joins that flat edge of A. It doesn't go all the way to the point of A. It joins the flat edge, creating a nice curved thing. Right, there's that side. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of these, the bottom pieces, which look like this, but you treat them exactly the same. So I'm going to pre-curve it in one direction. I'm going to squash, pre-flatten that flat edge. So the reason we pre-flatten it is so that when they join together, there's a little bit more give, and we've got a little cavity there, which is where we're going to, a little valley is probably a better word. When they join together, that's where we're going to put our hot glue in. So it's going to join those together neater because there's 2 points joining, and we're also going to fill that with hot glue. This goes here and curves around as it does it. So we're going to get a bit of tape. The first side is complete. Now, the next step is to repeat all of this on the other side. So the process is exactly the same. We start with the side, we add A, we add B, we add the bottom. We use tape, we pre-curve, we flatten those edges, okay? The only difference is we curve them the other way, okay? So front and back become opposite. So this one, rather than curving this way, I'm going to curve it this way. There we go. Exactly the same process. So I've curved, I'm going to flatten the edges, and then I will do the rest of it as if sped up by magic. Both sides almost ready to go. Okay, so they are mirror images of one another. We've used tape, we've got our side, we pre-bent it, we attach side A, side B, and the bottom to each other, and then we've done that on both sides using tape. Lots of little bits of tape is probably better rather than trying to do big chunks. We are almost at the stage now where we're going to peel that tape off and start using our glue gun, but we are not there yet. There is one more step. Okie dokie, next step is this one, which is the top, which is our longest piece. Treated no differently the other. Pre-bend it. I'm going to get my finger. You could also, if you if you're trying it hard to squash some of the edges, you can also use a trusty spoon is always another good option for this. Just bending, flattening down those edges. Okay, I've got sort of fingers of steel for doing this for years, but there's no reason you should end up with my joint issues. There we go. So I've pre-bent it. I've used my spoon to squash down those edges, and we are going to join it to this. So just grab either side, and we are going to join this flatter edge here to the front, and it's going to curve all the way around. Okay, where's my tape? There it is. I've attached the top to side B using lots of bits of tape, trying to get it as snug, trying to get those pieces as snug and as close together as you can. Sometimes it's worth just holding it up to the light and seeing if there are any massive gaps. A few small ones is fine. You don't want any. You certainly don't want any you can fit your finger through. And then I have curved that all the way around, attaching with tape. And then at the end, there's that slight bend to it that goes around that corner and curves onto the back. Okay. Looking a bit like this. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing again with the other side. You can see the shape has taken place. Now, it's already better than my terrible hair I'm having today, but it is not quite finished. The next step, before I go any further, it's probably worth mentioning that this is going to go on your head. So if you need to make it smaller or bigger, depending on the size of your head, mine is quite large, you can use the printing guide that comes with our pattern, which will tell you what ratio to put it through your printer at and how to do that in order to make it smaller or larger to fit your desired head. Okay, I should have mentioned that at the beginning, slipped my mind. Sorry. Right, here we go. Next step is to get the glue gun out. So I've already got my glue gun ready and heated up. I have got all my tape ready. They're all along those joints. I've got them as snug as I can. I've checked it against the light, made sure. Oh, there is actually a big one there. Let's just get a bit more tape on that one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my glue gun and I'm going to run it alongside all of these inside joins. You don't need too much glue, but also don't skimp. I'm just going to run it along all of these inside joins just to hold it all together. I've probably put in plenty there. That's more than enough. Can you see that? And we're going to repeat that going around all of these edges. Put all of the glue on the inside joints. I've been very careful with it. Hot glue guns, I say this a lot. Hot glue guns are hot, people. Okay, secrets in the name. They do burn you, and hot glue burns are nasty. It's hot stuff that sticks to you. Okay, so it's a very nice, easy way to get a quick, nasty burn. The nature of the patterns like this as well, we're joining them together with tape and then securing them with glue. There are very likely, even with the best will in the world, going to be cracks and seeps where the glue can get out. So if you're holding it like this and applying hot glue, it's a very quick and easy way to burn your hand. So please do be very careful with it. But I'm going to give that a moment. I don't know if you can see that, the glue I put in there. The other thing to mention as well, like this is the inside. No one's going to see it other than you. So don't worry too much about making it pretty. But I'm going to give that a moment for the glue to set and cure properly. It shouldn't take long. Then I'm going to go around and I'm just going to peel all the bits of tape off. I've peeled all of my bits of tape off. I've checked it for size. This is the main body of it done. The rest of it is easy peasy. So the next step you have is to choose which ear you want. Now, there are 3 ears that you can use for this. So there is this one, which we call the goblin ear. There is this one, which we are calling the creature ear. It's got this sort of elfish hook at the end. Okay, this one. But the one I'm going to be doing today is the third one. That's the one I'm going to choose today, which I have to admit I think is my favourite, which we call the giant ear. I've already got them printed out. Here we go. There we are. So bow 2, exactly the same. I also already have the details that go with them. So the next step is what we're going to do is we are going to curve it along those curved lines. Now you do not have to be too precise with that. It's just about getting that curve. Right, so you want to try and aim to get this flap to sit on top of this flap, roughly. Okay, to curve it so it does that, whilst keeping a nice rounded organic shape. That looks nice. Let's do the same with the next. Curving them over, getting that to sit on top of that. And then we're going to attach it. So it should, so the 3 ears, although they look different, they attach in exactly the same way. Okay, we have these holes in there, and these are going to slip through. Should just slip through these, like so. There we are, and then you'll have these little flaps on the inside. We are going to put a bit of hot glue on those. I would recommend doing 2 at a time. Now it doesn't matter if they go forward or back, but we're going to fold those over and push them down. Hold them in place. Oh. You want to make sure this ear is as flat to the body as you can make it before you squish it down. We do have the detail which will help cover any gaps, but the flatter we can do it, the better. And then a final flap. There we go. Then it's the same on the other ear. So those are glued in already, and you can see how they are working out. Next thing, final step really, is to take our 2 details, put together, and we're going to attach those inside. Now before I do that though, I always say this, you decorate your cardboard creations however you want to do it. I am a big fan of a chisel tip permanent marker, black. Okay, so I'm just going to, before I glue these in, go around the edges, as it'll be much easier to do it now than once they're stuck in. And now I'm just going to pop some glue on these, just dilly-dally on the back, and place those in there. Now you will very likely have some gaps between the ear and the body, and this is a great way to fill those in. So just squish that right up as close to the body as you can. Cover those gaps, cover those little errors. Bit of glue. Our fantasy ear set with the giant ears in place. What do you think? Definitely improvement on my hair today, isn't it? Now, I have left this bit blank. It will depend. You can change that and decorate this depending on which ear sets you do. A couple of swirly bits of cardboard can make some lovely bits of hair, or you can stick a bit of fur to it, give yourself like a cool mohawk, whatever you fancy. Maybe just a few lines on it, give a few crinkles in that. So decorate this top bit however you fancy. What's that I hear you say? It's the best pattern we've ever made. I'm not one to say, but that's very kind of you. But that is it, 100% done. So there we go. That is it with our giant ears. We've got our creature ears. And we've got our goblin ears for our fantasy ear set. I hope you've had fun today. This has been wonderful for me. Do check out the pattern and everything else we do on cardboardadventures.co.uk. And do check out the Cardboard Adventures mini-series on our YouTube channel as well. I'll put a link down there. I have been Sam Wilde. Thank you very much.